Welcome to another edition of the Motley Croc. It's the 17th of August. I'm sorry about that. We had like the great deluge today. I'm sure Jeff's got it. We all got it. Kind of put me off track a little bit. It knocked out the power for a little bit, which reset the routers, which you know how it goes. If it's not one thing, it's another. So I'm going to bring in the Manic Satanic. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
What's up, y'all?
It's good to see you, Michelle. How are you? Beginner's Guide, what's up? Dude, what's up with that rain today? While we're waiting for the rest of the crew.
I got douched on the way back from looking at houses today, and it was rough. And then it poured here for a while. So Tortoise is probably happy.
They probably had a good time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Usually.
Yeah. No, it was a long day, man. I'm a little got up to my ears in Daytona shit and trying to get everything together. One-man show.
That's right. It's all happening.
Oh yeah, heading out tomorrow morning so we can get set up and catch all the Asian buyers early so I can sell some expensive shit. Get out of the way.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Michael Forster, what's up? Beginner's Guide, what's up? It's good to see you guys. I'm currently waiting on Mr. Stevens, Jimmy Riffle. He'll be coming in too. I saw that he responded. Nice. It's just been the great deluge here in Florida. It seems like we're all getting smashed. It seems like with all this water. Yeah. What the hell, man? I mean,
wet season started late. Now it's fucking coming.
It did, didn't it? And then yet we're still kind of in a drought. Isn't that just absolutely strange?
It's been hot as balls, though.
Yeah, I bet they weren't happy, Michelle. I bet they weren't. So I want to talk about it a little bit. So since people are just now coming in, we're waiting on everybody to come in. I do want to start on the boner spider. You did some research on, Jeff. I mean, I think that a lot of people wonder about that. And would that be something that, we might want to get a couple spiders for those nights that we've been,
right.
We're a little older now. Maybe a spider bite or two be good for us. Holly, what's up, girl? How are you?
Yeah, actually, it was in not Holly's neck of the woods, but the neck of the woods where she is, where they found one that must have snuck in on some kind of produce shipment and ended up in an Australian supermarket this week. But it was a Brazilian wandering spider, which apparently is a big arachnid,
like a big deal.
Yeah, and physically big too. And their bite causes priapism, which is an getting rid ofable. That's a medical term. Erection, which apparently is very painful. So before you go out and try to get bit by the spider, it's time to look into that. But yeah, hey, what's up, Jason? Long time no see, man. So yeah, these spiders cause big boners that last a long and painful time.
Yeah, and I want to say it too, because sometimes we bring on different guests and things like that, and sometimes the things we talk about, some people may find offensive or not offensive, whatever. But just remember that a lot of times when we're doing the show, it doesn't reflect on some of our guests. Like when I bring on Jason, for example, he's real fun to have on. That's a fun dude, and other people, like I know he's got a pretty fancy show, and this is more the late night thing, obviously, because it's speaking of late night, let me get downtown Brittany Brown coming on in here for a minute. There she is. What's up, dude?
Hey guys.
What's up? And so it doesn't reflect, and Brittany had made a comment that you got to watch what you say, people get offended or whatever, it might ruin you as a future character. But when we bring on some guests and stuff, like sometimes we talk about things, if you get offended, man, just it's not like, I'm sure someone will be like, why are they talking about boner spiders? Well, you know why we're talking about boner spiders, because they shut down a whole grocery store.
Yeah, they had to shut down and clear out the store, and apparently they had to throw away all the produce. They still have not found the actual spider that got in.
That's because have we been able to find Jimmy? He might have been there and took the spider for himself. And if he's hiding that spider out, I'm going to be upset about that. What's up, Jimbo?
What's up, Jimmy?
He can't hear us. Can you hear us? He can't hear us, but we can see you.
Can't hear.
The fuck?
There you are. I hear you.
Jimmy.
We hear you.
I can't hear none of y'all.
Can you read my lips? Boner spider.
Yeah. Maybe we'll just have you come back in, Jimmy. Yeah, let Jimmy go ahead and pop that back in. He's probably just trying to connect to his AirPods. That has a tendency sometimes to get a little wacky. But yeah, so I mean, that's what I talk about. Anyways, it was crazy because they shut down a whole store. Tell us, you said the story, but tell us what you found out, Jeff. I'm excited.
I know they shut down the store. They and they're not going to allow them to reopen it until the store has been scrubbed and preferably the spider's been found. Talk about a needle in a haystack. You know, the manager probably brought it home because he was out of the blue pills and he wanted a little spider boner. But what a crazy thing for it to cause. You know, I don't know if it's. I got into more of the article about what had happened in Australia, rather than like what the mode of operation is for the actual venom. I'm assuming it's some kind of hemotoxin, maybe blood thinner or something
So why does it go to make your? So what would it do to women then? Would it make like their vagina like explode? How's that?
It could make your clitoris swell. It's the same. I mean, it's the same thing more or less. Hello. It's the same thing more or less. And have you had one, Michelle?
Oh my God, dude. That's awesome.
But yeah, no, they're supposed to be extremely painful.
I remember my sister Summer, she's in North Carolina and she's a nurse in the medical field. She was in the ER room. And if I'm not mistaken, Brittany, didn't she say one time that she had a young person come in with that problem? Like they could not get it to go down. They had to cut it. They had to cut it off, Jeff. They had to cut it off, dude. Cut it off.
Oh yeah, fuck that. They usually have to go in with like an aspirating needle and pull out the blood from the little blood sacs that fill it up. Holy,
really?
Oh
man. There's a site for sore eyes. Talking about boners, and this face popped up. I mean, that's just
don't get too excited.
The timing was too good. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing good. How you guys been?
Good, man.
Really staying steady. There's been a lot in the news. There's been a lot going on. Merlin, what's up?
What's up, Merlin?
There's been a lot of shit going on these days, man, between like aliens and laser shooting fires and
all this UFO stuff's been nuts.
I know, and that's Brittany's expertise right there.
Yeah,
hence her T-shirt.
Obligatory asshole.
I've seen Brittany pop up with like 4 different new like Instagram things she's doing.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that because you were focusing a lot on your family on your page and like, oh, don't do that. We want more just your Brittany character, like Jason's Jason Ryder, even though he's like the dad of the year, but he's Jason Ryder, for Secrets of the Zoo, so isn't that why you did it? So you could do like a more of a focus on you?
I have my professional page, which is Brit Investigates, and then the Paranormal Mama is more like my family base. But I think what Jason's talking about, which I'm sure he's probably following now too, is I'm part of a disclosure team that's like a women panel under the UFO.
Yep, I saw that.
And then I'm also on as a producer with Hypo Center. They now have an Instagram, so my name's on that one as well, helping with that account.
Yep, I just keep seeing you tagged all over the place.
Are you there, Jimmy?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you hear us?
Fuck yes.
I hear you.
I can't get nothing to work. My headset's not working. Nothing. So.
Can you not hear us?
I can hear you now, but my internet's giving me issues.
I bet the Bluetooth sometimes it gets hung up, and mine does it too when I'm trying to use AirPods. But
we have weather. We had weather issues too. So.
Oh God, it was bad.
Jason, what's up, buddy?
Hey man, how you been?
We're doing.
Hey Judy. So, Jason, what do you know about the Brazilian wandering spider?
Apparently it's the boner spider, according to you guys.
Well, it is.
I hadn't heard anything about it. That's crazy.
This is the first I heard about it. Otherwise, I've been using it for years.
Bro, we're going to have to start catching them. Me too.
I'm surprised they're not using that for some sort of aphrodisiac. They keep doing stupid stuff like rhino horns when that one actually gives you a boner.
That one actually works, right?
Yeah, but I think this one gives you such a side-splitting boner, I think, that they may have to cut off your whole dong, dude. I don't know if that's, maybe the rhino horn is just a gentler approach of erection. That the spider blow, it just explodes. I don't know if,
it's just fingernails.
Power, dude.
Yeah, it's a scary spider, man. I don't know if I'd rather get bitten by a black widow than a wandering spider.
That's kind of scary.
You know,
So
Black Label
since we have you, Jason, how's everything been going over there with your the stuff? I see that you're posting at the zoo. You know, once in a while you're there still. How's that going? Pretty good.
Oh, the zoo's great. Yeah, I'm there like once a week right now, and it's a lot of fun. I go in there, I hang out with the guys, feed some crocs, hang out with the dragons and stuff. It's super fun.
Do some cool pictures and videos again. I've noticed coming back. It looks good to see all that.
Yeah, it's fun. All it takes is, you bring the camera one day and all of a sudden you got a ton of stuff.
It's amazing because I haven't seen the Gario videos in a long time. I was bummed. I'm like, man.
I know they're just so cool. I put that one video up forward and then I put it backwards where it gives the fish back, and that's just been blowing up.
Yeah, I saw that, dude. That's cool.
That's awesome. I'll have to look at that one. I haven't seen that one yet. I've been getting all my Daytona shit ready.
You guys all going? Who's going to Daytona?
I'm going with him, as per usual. It's my birthday weekend, so I'm always there.
Jeff,
that's cool.
Pretty much.
I'll be out there. I'll be sitting with Adeline Robinson Art. I'm gonna help them vend this weekend.
Oh, nice, man! Come by the booth and check out some cool ass hognose, and check out my my snake art.
One thing I don't wander very much while I'm there. I gotta actually do that this time.
Which is crazy because you haven't stopped since you got on here.
Yeah, but you have to understand that you can't wander with Jason unless it's behind the scenes. Like if you go over to the zoo, dude, you have to stop for 100 photographs. He's signing, things I can't talk about and bags and things like that. I mean, that's just so maybe that's why you don't move around, huh? You get mobbed.
It's just one of the perils of my life,
What's the weirdest thing you've ever signed?
I usually don't sign anything. I just tell people they can get a photograph with me if they want.
He's like, no touching, man. I ain't got insurance. You're not catching me.
I'm like, my autograph ain't worth having.
He signs a hand, and then they tell everybody, oh, Jason got me pregnant. I get it. I wouldn't touch anybody either, dude.
He got to do for his
Jimmy kills people when he touches them. So
sunglasses and follow Jason around like Secret Service, maybe a little earpiece.
No, it's great because if you guys don't know Dan Costello, he's just so cool, man. He's just so like,
biker dude.
It is, but I'm that. Listen, that's me. You did too, but Dan's more like, oh, here we go again with the movie star shit, kind of, Hey, we're gonna walk over here. All we want. It's gonna take 4 hours now, Jason. Don't walk through the middle, shit like that. Take the back way. It's just funny, man. So,
he's a laid back guy. He's very funny.
Yeah, I talked to him, man. Just 2 days ago, he said he was on vacation. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, no, what's up? We were chatting, but it's good that you guys got everything going over there, man. The staff looks cool and looks like it's working out pretty well over there, dude. I haven't been there in a little while. I need to get over and see you. What days do you go there?
It's changing every week because it's whatever Christy's schedule is. So that's why it's working out so well because I can go back and he's just like whatever days you can do is great. So I'm just basing it off of when Christy's working.
Well, let me know next time you're going to come over that way, man. And so I know what days you're there. And we'll
take a ride.
In August, watch you feed the animals and stuff.
Stay in August.
That'd be cool. I should be there Tuesday this week.
Okay.
Coming up. So, and actually, I think we might be feeding the Komodos that day too, if you want to roll out and see that.
Oh, cool.
What are you going to be feeding them? Live children again? Or is it, children,
vagrants, that sort of stuff. Well, the government has us get rid of the UFOs for them, or the aliens and stuff.
They get those big old heads down. Children.
Exactly.
Is that what they call little goats? Children.
The kids. Yeah.
They call them kids. Yeah.
There's gonna be. We are working on getting full goat skin and everything for the Halloween event.
So they can shred it up for everybody and get their blood thirsty.
Oh yeah, it'll be a mess. It'll be great.
So, anyways, Brittany, since your eyebrows are going through your scalp, it's already dead. They don't throw anything alive in there to run around. That's not
I know. No, I know.
They tie it to a rope and they try to get blood on the windows. And if someone's throwing up, Jason's doing it right, bro.
Man, there's times too that they get those insides and they don't like the poop part of it, so they shake it out and it just goes everywhere.
That's gross.
Oh my god, dude!
It's like through the.
Well, I'm the guy scrubbing the windows the next day, getting it all off.
But the dragons got to have their salad too, dude.
Exactly. That's the good stuff.
Wow.
Craig said children make a nice salad, he said.
It's all about feeding out the kids.
That's right. Yeah, I remember when you guys started implementing that thing with the rope and all that. That was kind of cool. You guys still do that?
Yeah. We got the spring going still too. We do a lot of hanging. We're switching to a lot more horizontals type feeds because as they get bigger, some anecdotal stuff has said maybe don't do straight vertical for the big guys because when they pull, they could potentially injure their neck if it's up too high. So I want to start the bigger and bigger that male gets, the more horizontal we potentially want him to pull. But still doing it. He's looking great, man. I'm sure you've been over there and seen the dragons. They're both looking awesome.
Oh yeah, dude. Finally, and obviously you got him to breed, so that was cool.
Yeah. So fingers crossed on that, huh?
Yeah, that's really awesome. And I think they say they might hurt their neck if they're pulling up, but I mean, I don't know, man. So for instance, like everybody's like, oh, birds are delicate, and I watched this eagle try to like destroy this goat, dude, and the goat was like, fuck it, we're going together, and he jumped off the cliff, dude. Right? He did.
Yeah.
And he rolled, dude. That bird never let go of that thing. It looked like somebody had a wet towel tied around their body. That bird was like flap, flap, flap. And then finally we got to the end. He got up and the bird stood up and the goat ran off. And I'm like, if that was one of us, we'd have been dead.
Yep.
Right.
So now you got a bird guy going, well, you shouldn't tug so hard on his legs. You can rip it off. I'm like, have you ever seen the suicide goat video with the eagle? You're out of your mind, dude. You're crazy. I will send that video to you, Jason. I swear to you, I don't know how that bird did not die as many times as he was.
I want to see it. Yeah, I do. I do want to see it. That sounds awesome.
I couldn't. The goat was just like, fuck you. We're going. And he just jumped. And the eagle was clutched into his back and he just jumped straight out. And then he started tumbling. Did I send it to you, Jimmy?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, you did. Yep.
It's ridiculous that bird even lived through that, dude.
Yeah,
that's the only way that thing survived, though. That goat or whatever.
He probably had the eagle slowing him down a little bit.
On
to his back,
bro.
That's fucking metal.
Well, if you feed a 10,000-pound Komodo dragon a little too high in the air, he could break his neck. I mean, I don't know, dude. I've seen those things.
It's more about how strong. It's how strong and heavy bodied they get. So it's more that their neck would be more straight up, that they're applying so much force on their own neck.
Gotcha.
So it's not, it's just
a little hairy and wanted to jump, they'd hurt themselves. They'd be like, so him and his friends would be pushing him around in a wheelchair. They're like, oh, get Draco, man, he's paralyzed. We'll roll him to the kill. How's that work? How's that work?
I don't know, man. It's I guess though, but you think about all these dragons, they're hunting forward, they're hunting, and then they're ripping from down. That's the whole thought process. But
I remember weren't they having a problem? Correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't they having a problem with their necks because people were feeding them on the ground? They weren't getting enough tension to strengthen their necks.
They just weren't even doing any exercise type feedings. It was all just
throw it in,
hand them food. So they were having some issues with neck atrophy and things like that. And I forget what it's called, where they didn't have enough support on their neck and the vertebrae were actually like collapsing. So it was
stenosis. Well,
it's just one of those things where you needed understanding their physiology and what they needed more is just what we needed to do to make a happier, healthier new generation of dragons in human care,
Yes, Michelle.
Yeah. Wow.
So was that the day that that security guy wouldn't let me back in? Wasn't that the same day we were there? Was that the same day?
Yeah, I think that was
because we went to look at wild dogs.
Like 5 or 6 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
5 years ago.
Jason's like, okay.
About how small that dragon was. And now that dragon's so much bigger. He's close to like 70 pounds now. He's growing.
Oh, he's a monster. I saw him. He's still scared of the girl, though, isn't he?
No, he definitely got his confidence this year.
Oh, because they tolerated her.
No, that's why they were so successful this year. After a Howdy Door introduction, he kind of got his confidence up, and then when they were actually introduced, they were allowed to howdy overnight, and then they were actually like laying next to each other door to door after they got their aggression out. And then once they were released, it was all business.
So maybe she just wanted to make sure that he could hold his own, dude. Like, I mean,
yeah,
she didn't want to breed with some wimpy little fucking, you know.
But I have some videos from years ago where she went full combat mode with him, where she was hitting him chest to chest. They were battling with their tails. I mean, I've got those videos.
So it was like, intense. If you want to do this, you have to fight me for it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and then we go in there after a while and separate them, and then they're mad at us. And then you got these dragons who are chasing you around with their mouths open, trying to hit you with their tails.
So isn't that kind of like common for them? Because you know, the croc monitors, when they breed, dude, like that, they do like a little fight, and then it's like a rape scene, and then it's like a ripped up neck, and I mean, it's not a very pretty thing.
I know they're
horrible.
Sounds like a slow Friday night.
I've heard they're pretty vicious, and Komodos can also be pretty vicious. I'm not sure which have a higher mortality or a higher injury rate. I don't know if anybody has that stat, but I know I've seen it in Komodos before and heard about it in Komodos before, where they can get pretty bad.
Yeah, and you know, when you think about I sent you a picture of one of my croc monitors today, man. You see his cute little face?
Yeah, dude, that was awesome.
Yeah, he's so cool. He was a little guy. You could roll him up in your hand when we got him, and now he's like, pushing like 2.5, 3 feet. But I just remember some of the females that we would see, their necks were just shredded, and they've got those keratin teeth, man. They can cut through a feather, like so.
Their teeth body size is just insane. Yeah, they got sharp teeth, man.
Didn't Dan say somebody got bit by a Komodo? Didn't Dan get popped by one time?
I think just like his fingertips. A couple guys at the zoo did, but that was a long time ago.
That's what he said. Is it a southern, or is it one of the boofies?
That's a southern. Yeah, there's a little southern guy. We spooked him.
Over here.
I have only seen one cane toad in my neighborhood.
You haven't seen one?
I've only seen one in my neighborhood before.
Yeah, we got them over here by me.
Yeah, same.
They sound like when they call at night, Jason. They sound like screech owl. Like,
yeah, I get I get a lot of southerns and I get a lot of spadefoots out here, and obviously Cubans everywhere.
You don't see a lot of spadefoots by me. We get southerns and bufo toads. We get the cane toads out here.
I hear
apart unless
I hear their calls more.
Yeah, I hear I hear the cane calls, and then I hear the freaking calls, like somebody stretching a rubber band too far.
I don't think I have any bufos up here at all.
Not yet, probably not yet. A little cold.
No, yeah, no. I haven't seen any up here.
2 hours will do.
Probably didn't have any cane beetles up there.
Took Daniel down. One of his friends' grandfathers owns a tree farm, and he wanted to go down. That's in Naples, and we went down to Naples, and we were running around through there, bro. I must have saw 9 billion cane toads, dude. I couldn't believe it. We saw alligators that night and cane toads, so wasn't really much else out there. Like, and one mud turtle, I think, is 3 striped. So those cane toads are. They're more predominant than the green iguanas and stuff. Like and I hear they're a lot more detrimental.
And the worst part is the state of Florida introduced them to the ecosystem.
That's all the cane toads are introduced everywhere.
Yep.
You will never get rid of them.
Nope. Yeah, and we still have cane beetles, so it didn't really do its job.
I was catching we were down and we were trapping one time, Jason. And I hear him talk about, how terrible, caimans are to South Florida and how they're terrible on the ecosystem and shit. I don't see any proof of that, but that's just my opinion. But we caught one like 6 foot, and we she was giving us a really hard time. And when we got her up to the surface and we got her out on land, she regurgitated like 6 big cane toads.
So, that's cool.
So that they're eating those, because alligators won't even touch them. They can't eat them. It makes them like sick. But those caimans can eat those things. So
spectacles are from the they have an overlapping natural region, right?
Right. So that's my point. So they're down there all over Biscayne area where, like, the Biscayne water area and stuff, there's caimans still there. They're still pulling them out to this day, but there's southern toads too. So, or not southern, Bufo marinus. So they've got to be feeding on those. I mean, so they're helping too, because what I'm saying is they're not competing for that food with any other animal because nothing eats those but them.
Right.
Yeah.
So an area that's predominantly thick in marine toads, I mean, maybe you should leave a few caimans there since the alligators don't touch that, dude,
Yeah,
Exactly.
We'll just introduce that whole. It's the whole. Wasn't that on The Simpsons where they did like the chain where they were going to release the snakes, and then they were going to release the gorillas to. Then the gorillas would die in a frost.
Right. Swallow the spider to catch the fly, man.
But I mean, like, we have so many things that are invasive and way more intrusive in the state than some of these things they make stinks about. I just think it's easy to like
Melaleuca trees. Another thing
those too, and don't forget Cuban tree frogs, dude.
Oh yeah,
I know.
The green tree frog in my neighborhood.
I've got some green trees here now. Finally,
no
because
squirrels, no greens.
I don't ever see greens. All I see is Cubans.
Nope, I got greens here, buddy. I love it.
All I got is pretty much greens here. I don't have a lot of Cubans here.
I'll bring you some, Jimmy. I got tons of them. I'll bring you a bag.
You can keep the Cubans.
But if I'm not mistaken, I like the lighting you got going on there, Jason. It's like scary, bro. Like a
nice, right?
Silhouette of you. I can't tell if you're smiling now. I just see this man against the silhouette.
You can always assume I'm smiling.
You are, dude. I know I tell people this. When I first met him, I'm like, this dude's either on drugs. He's way too happy, man. Something's wrong. He's going to kill everybody in the room. Don't lock that door.
Awesome. You better watch out.
All right, we're happy people.
Oh, man.
Baseball has 13 notches. Dude, I've got so many of them, but I will tell you this, Craig, since you made that comment about he said hate Cubans are all over land of my baseball. He's talking about Cuban tree frogs, guys. I want to make sure that when we read that,
don't take the sound bite.
He wasn't referencing the humans. It's Cuban tree frogs what he's talking about, but they
I actually like the Cuban tree frogs. I love them.
They're cool and everything, but they're just not good for our native ones.
The little green ones.
You know what? I think cane toads are ridiculously cool, but I just hate that they're everywhere.
Yeah, well, they get huge, like dinner plate size. I mean, they're like.
Oh yeah, the females, dude. It's insane. So what
I found one in Panama when I was where it was supposed to be, and I was so excited. I was like, "Oh, good! Like I can be excited to find this toad because this is its native range." Yeah,
they used to tell people. Like there was this old lady that lived in my neighborhood. I'm not going to use her name, but she's was really like towards the end, bro. She'd run down the middle of the street screaming at night that zombies were after her. She was like, gone. But she read somewhere, I guess, on like a Florida page that if you take athlete's foot spray, fast acting, tenactin, and you can get rid of those frogs. So I remember seeing her out here at night, dude, with a flashlight, just tenactin in those frogs, man. Then she'd have a little
holy cow.
I'd see it, and she'd be like, psh.
She probably made
it would be like going down, dude. Like they're like. She was just out there murdering frogs, dude. It was like
that's crazy.
It was so fucking, but it was kind of awesome because she just was like so out there. She was just geared up, dude. She had a holster for her can and a light. She was moving bushes and she was like saving. It was the only thing was our house, Phil's house. Everybody's in the line, dude. We're on the water, and so she killed 3 or 4 that night, which took her like 6 hours, I think. And there's like 6,000 everywhere else. I mean, it didn't do any good. It doesn't do any good, but just funny that she was out there just, shooting the air.
I bet there's not a frog out there with athlete's foot, though.
No,
that's true.
Definitely not, dude. But
turns out she was probably curing chytrid and didn't even know it.
There you go. And like but it says use an athlete's foot spray on them when you see them. Just spraying with athlete's foot spray. It's on some website that FWC has it.
That's crazy. That's what I use for moldy eggs.
Oh man, it says Hal Pachachobi, Jimmy. You see that, right?
Hey Jimmy, how you doing? Jimmy G.
All right. But yeah, they so she did that. But what I was gonna say was, so I have my crocodiles and my little Cuban croc, bro. He wipes those things out. they go to breed. They jump through the squares to go down in the water, and they're like making love, like you'll see the female swim, and I don't know how the dude does it, but he like holds on to the waist, and they like go along in their stream, and that croc just goes through there and just annihilates them, dude. Like I found 2 eyeballs stuck on the side the other day when we were cleaning, so he must have said "fuck you" and just like threw these little eyeballs everywhere. He makes my day because he's just such a. If you work with Cubans, you understand what I'm saying. They're a league of their own, dude. They're a league of their own. They're always they're like a big wet mouth dog drooling, ready to go. Like what can we grab out of the sky? They don't care. You can hear it all night, like boom. You can hear them hitting the top, boom, grabbing stuff. So they're just a trip. But yeah, what'd you do?
It's funny that we refer to all these different things as Cubans. Like if we were sitting here talking about iguanas, we'd be talking about cyclura. If we're talking about frogs, we're talking about Cuban tree frogs. Yep. Now we're talking about Cuban crocs.
The Cubans are awesome, dude. I mean, they've got everything going on down there. They've got cool shit. They do.
That's it, dude.
You're not stopping them Cuban tree frogs, bro. They take over everything. They own every banana tree, them things.
Oh, dude, they slap against my window all night long. You just hear.
So we went. So Kurt's Colette's in town. So Kurt and Colette stopped by last night, and we got to visit with them, which is always fun. Colette was really tired, she'd been flying or whatever. But their favorite place to go after the airport at 11:45 at night is the Waffle House, which I call the Greasy Spoon. We've all been there.
Awful waffle.
Yeah, exactly.
Waffle House,
so we went there, bro, and I guess like the humidity on the window, so like the water would drip down the side, and all these Cuban tree frogs kept jumping and sticking on the glass next to everybody. So it was like little Spider-Man things. And she was like, wow, there's so many of them here. But I guess we're just overran with them here where we are.
They're all over the place. And I can't walk outside and shine a flashlight at my house without seeing a dozen of them at least. But, I take them and grind them up.
Once again, we're talking about frogs, folks, Cuban tree frogs. He doesn't see a dozen with his flashlight. Frogs. I just want to make sure it's clear because they'll crop it out, dude.
No Cubans were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Cuban and Knowles are king of. And Craig said the Cuban and Knowles are king of the Knowles. They
really are. Right? Cubans, and you see a lot of the with the head ridge.
Yep, I don't know what they're doing down there, bro. But they're getting as big as green iguanas. It's like they are on steroids or something.
They are big.
They're like, what is that? And I pull it down, like that's a Cuban and Knowles, dude. Holy shit!
I have one green knoll that lives around my house now. I mean, I'm sure there's some up in the trees, but there's only one green knoll that I ever see, and there's billions of Cubans and Bahamians and Puerto Rican. I mean, all the Caribbean knolls are all over the place here, and they're getting bigger. And the geckos are getting bigger. Like the Mediterranean geckos this year are monsters.
I've been seeing that too. And you know what else I've really like is that when those certain knolls think they're like the Jesus Christ lizard, and they grow the fins on their head and their neck, dude, and all the way down their back.
The basilisk,
but that we have a knolls that look like that by my house, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I have some here.
You've seen them, right? Like so like I've just for fun, I'll buy like you can take a little piece of dog shit and put it on a paper plate. And then I have plenty of that. And so I put it out. We put it in the front the other day, bro. And all these like brown and knolls were coming out and taking the flies off of it, dude. And getting a little chocolate on the side. And then the all of a sudden this green and knoll comes running out of the staghorn, dude, and like grabbed on the brown and knoll and threw him, ate some flies and left. Like, dude, the backyard stuff. You got to come over here, Jason. I'm serious.
I do. I know I got to.
Bro, because you're going to be swimming with my little hairy hippo.
I'd love to meet that dude. That was an awesome video in the pool.
Well, Kurt and them came over last night, and he gets his zoomies, and he would like chew on Kurt's shoelaces and run off, like open his shoelaces and run off. But he's big now, dude. He's like I swear he weighs 20 pounds.
Oh, the cappy?
That's awesome. How big will he get? How many pounds?
He's a grader, so I'm thinking probably they have the potential of getting over 145 pounds, 150 pounds.
Man, that's gonna be big. It's a big rodent,
bro. So he does some cool shit now. So Cody was like in the pool, not in the deep end, and we have this little alcove. So you got for sake of argument, it's probably 8 to 9 inches deep. You can kind of sit on the ledge there, and it's like a moon-shaped alcove. And so Cody was out in the mid, and he would like go down to his head, and he would jump straight up. Like when you're a kid and you jump out of the water, like you're Aquaman or something. So he would jump straight up, and then the capybara would be sitting on the ledge with just his eyes and his nose. He would jump straight up, just like Cody, dude, and then tuck his head and dive every time he did it. It's like he was learning, And so Cody he wouldn't just dive underwater. He'd jump straight up and get the zoomies and dive. I can't even explain it, dude. It's the coolest shit. Like, I know people have them, and I know there's people that have them. They walk around, they're like, "Oh, that's my, whatever designer." But this dude lives in the house, man. He like,
That's super cool,
dude. You have to do it one day. You guys have to get one in your life, dude. You just have to have one in your life.
I got a cap in my life, and he's crazy.
Yeah, you're a dog, but like you're just neat. Have you worked much with him, Jason?
No, I haven't at all. That sounds super cool, though.
I know Jimmy has at some of the reservations, and I mean, so he's familiar with the way they act. But I got to tell you, dude, they're like all my dogs took to him, and like when he was little, like when he had enough, he would turn around and he would just make this chuff sound, and he would run at him like, "Don't talk to me." And now all the dogs and him get along like he's part of the team, and he's laying on his side, and the dog's licking his stomach, and then it's weird. It's like, I know it sounds like we're all on mushrooms. I'm telling you this, but this is how it really is. Like he rolls over like a little fat pig, and he's got this pink belly, dude, like this little pink belly, and he's got these feet, and they're flared up, and they look like hippopotamus feet.
That's awesome.
To meet that dude.
Hey, Alan.
And so, yeah, we were playing with him. So you guys got to see him when he runs on the bottom. He goes to the bottom and runs like lightning.
That's super cool. Like you get a GoPro in there?
I need. Do you have one?
I got one. Yeah.
Bring it, dude, and jump in with him and do a swim. I bet it'd be awesome. Because
that would be cool to get swimming videos.
He goes around you and stuff.
That's awesome, dude. I'm about out of batteries here, so I got to get going.
I'm glad you joined us.
Hey, it was good talking to you guys. Thanks for going on my walk with me here.
Well, that was cool, man. Well, I appreciate it, dude. It was good to see you. And we'll catch up on next Tuesday. I'll try to get up there.
I feel like I burned calories, so
cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, see you later, Jason.
It was a team walk.
Yeah.
All right, bye, guys.
See you guys.
Yeah, we all got on our steps with Jason tonight.
It's always good to hang out. Yeah, Jason's really cool.
He was exhausting me,
dude. There's nothing you could ever. I mean, he's a really cool guy. He is a cool dude. Hands down, he's really cool. I was scared of him in the beginning. If he's still listening, you smile so much. I thought we were all dead when that door locked. I just kept thinking of that song.
He's
that Kenny Rogers song.
Coward you see the guy
lock the door, and I'm like, we're all dead, dude. We're all dead. What's that?
Alan Malone, what's up from Liverpool, UK? He said he can't stay late, but he did.
Hey, I appreciate it, Alan. What's up, buddy? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I'm glad. Man, Liverpool, that's cool, man. That's really awesome.
Liverpool's a cool place. I've been there.
Right? I've never been there in Liverpool.
Been there. I stayed there for a whole week. It was a good.
It's not where like all the streets like have slippery rocks and stuff. Like you have to walk on these gray slippery stones. So you have to stop at every pub and have a drink to like ease the pain. And you still come. Like who thought it was cool? Like we'll just put a bunch of cobblestone down so somebody can trip and fall. You know how many accidents happened on those cobblestones, dude? That was unnecessary because of too many pints.
Or not enough.
It's like the original road. I like Liverpool just because it surrounds the water. Like it's the coolest little it's just the coolest little town because it's like all these boats are there, and it's like just for a short period of time when you're standing there, you're like, I could see how this thing looked like in like 1700s. Like this is probably like a cool little town in England. Like
that'd be a lot of fun. Now that we have some laughs and we talked to Jason, we had boner pills and stuff, or boner spiders. So I brought some topics up. I was talking to Jeff today. We were having a really good conversation about certain accounts and
space lasers.
Yeah, we were talking about the lasers that work in essence. What do they call them? They call them energy weapons. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Dues.
Okay. So I guess they were scrubbing pictures or whatever. Like I don't know. So this is I'm just voicing things that could have happened. Can natural fires happen? Absolutely, it can. Alan Malone, we don't really have that much anymore of a sitting oil helmet. Awesome, dude. Awesome.
Do you still have the yellow submarine tours, Alan? That was the best ever.
The yellow submarine tours. We'll let you answer that, Alan. But
hopefully hang on to it.
So
I'm off submarine tours after the last one.
What's that? You're doing what?
It's not that kind of submarine tour. It's Honor the Beatles. Oh my God. It's above water, basically.
Fucking A, dude.
These little yellow submarine boats. They're so cute. I love it.
I can't, Jeff.
So there's over 100 people. Now I have to stop laughing when I say it. So there's over 100 people dead in Maui and 1,000 something.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
So, we understand that natural fires, but, unfortunately there's, a lot of private investigators and there's a lot of investigations. It's, when people put stuff together, like they've been trying to buy up that property. Billionaires have been trying to buy that land from under Maui for a long time. Yeah. So I'm just giving a scenario that I read that could have been a possibility that, Jeff and I discussed. So, we can both give you our outlook on it, but let me get it out. So what happens is they were refusing, you're not tearing down. These are original, dwellings that we've had. We don't want to tear them down. It's generational. Those people they don't like us anyways. Let's just face it. We lied to them. We took the islands. Let's not sugarcoat. That's what we did. So they didn't want to take their heritage get away. And when you go stay in Maui, if everything's booked, you're not staying there.
Mm-hmm.
There's no place for you to go, Then all those other things lead up, and then we're not selling, we're not budging, fights go on, and then it goes by a little bit, and all of a sudden we get these massive fires that have wiped out. I mean,
it's catastrophic.
The only thing that we couldn't explain, and I did say to Jeff to look at it. I sent you some stuff. A lot of the trees were not burned, and that's interesting to me because we're understanding of wildfires, especially if Brett was here. He could tell you in Colorado, when it burns through, it's nothing but black sticks. There's nothing left. I mean, Jimmy's seen them in the Everglades. I know how it is.
Controlled burns, man.
It's gone. Right, exactly. But now all the trees were not burnt, and then all these actors and stuff they said none of their mansions were touched on the same island. It's like it went around stuff.
Bezos wasn't touched at all. Did you see that?
Yeah. So that's my point. So listen, I'm not going to get a conspiracy theory. All I'm going to say is Jeff and I, we were talking today that I said, well, most people want to blame the government, but what if there's really no regulations? You don't have to have an FWC permit to work in space, dude. So we have guys like Elon Musk. We have other guys that are now, they popped in the submarine. They were creating rockets and things to go up into space, right? So what if it's just a billionaire organization doing this stuff? And it isn't the government. I'm not saying the government wouldn't be aware of it. I highly doubt that they wouldn't be aware, but there's no regulation. And when you're doing something, if there's no regulation on it, it doesn't matter if they call the law on you. There's no laws, nothing they can't stop you. Yeah. You have to have a reason. I mean, it's the way it goes. So what if they're the ones doing dumb shit like that? Like if we were all billionaires, I go, Jeff, can I borrow your reptile nerd cannon? I'm going to wipe out that whole event so we can just sell hog nose. I mean, it's not impossible if we're those type of people.
We don't lend the space lasers to Gentiles, man. Jews only.
Yeah, Jews only. But you know what? They would just get rid of, dude.
I would like circumcision scars to fucking.
Let's give it to Israel and see what they do with them.
Oh, poor Israel.
Israel would take care of some shit. Let me tell you something.
Would.
The next day it'd be a sunny day for them. They'd leave them fucking people alone, those poor people. But
those people are always under attack.
So it may not be governmental, is what I'm saying. But they go back into weather changing stuff like the HARP weapon. I know you guys saw Jesse the Body Ventura when he was governor. He dug into that big time. Like he made that a passion of his, right? And as crazy as he is or not crazy, he's always been, they hated him because he was an avid marijuana user. Okay. And his wife had severe problems with cancer, pain, suffering, and they did her anyway. They put her on a cannabis solution. She's still alive, and she has her medical record. So he was like, you people are just – and that was before it was all legalized, And so they thought he was this big this guy's a moron. But look at us now. Like, look at it now, right, kind of. You know what I mean? So – and he was crazy. Don't get me wrong. But that HARP weapon thing was a farmer-type weapon, a environmental weapon. You could make – tornadoes. It's not hard to do, man. When molecules, you can do anything you want with lasers and computer systems. Let's just face it, it's not that hard to do. As I said before, there's a guy on YouTube. He makes a rainstorm he painted a room and he created molecules in his system and he formed a storm and it actually built up and rained on him in there. And he got static electricity. He created a storm and it was just the neatest thing. He was a scientist, really cool stuff. So what if?
But that's a controlled environment.
What's that?
That's a controlled environment inside a room, and to do that obviously,
Yes, I know what you're saying.
Storm and rain, but cloud seeding and things like
that.
Right,
but we have, if you think about, so we do have, in essence, we do have some containment. If you look at the differences in elevation and pressure, like when you're between the Gulf and Florida, and what causes that certain pressure to push a certain way. So if you could shift any type of heat, it's all regulated by heat, obviously, or in it.
Heat and cold.
If you could do that in certain areas, you might be able to do something, right, to control weather. So people are like, wow, that, whatever. But with that being said, starting a fire with something, I mean.
Well, the only thing I will say on the alleged fire claims in Maui, the photographs that are circulating online are actually photographs from an incident that happened many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they're circulating saying these are the actual photographs but they weren't. And then
not an uncommon.
No, but I could see where and there was some interesting things. I think Troy may have been the one who sent it to me, but a couple people sent it to me because they're like, this doesn't make any sense. And you work a lot with the government. Like, why would they do this? And there were a lot of key points that happened on that day when the fire broke out. Schools were out. Everybody was home. So all the kids are home, but the parents still had to work. You know, like
no sirens.
No sirens. Yeah, like there was just a lot of things that happened that were not normal protocol for a day for something like this to transpire.
Politicians were all out of the area at the time.
Right. A lot of people were sent home. Everybody was in safe quarters. So I can see very easily why the speculation of conspiracy that this was a set fire took place just because of, you know, what we've done with Hawaii. You know, what we're
Have you guys ever seen the movie Geostorm?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of the
just
same
look
concept.
up. Just look up DEW with government weaponry. Just look that up and read about it, and you'll learn a lot more about how they utilize lasers for.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's impossible.
DEW, the DEW testings. Yeah.
Are they actually lasers, or is it concentrated energy like solar?
No,
energy?
it's a laser. It's an actual aircraft. On the very front end of the aircraft is an actual shield laser that shoots down, but it's not meant for fire starting like that.
No, it's meant to take out individual people, isn't it? Like,
it's military grade. It's meant to take out buildings, like people in the building.
Yeah,
like
well, that's not impossible.
Grade.
Because Flavio bought he bought on some website a blue laser, and he burnt my leg off with it.
Oh yeah, they're a great.
Okay. With one that takes 4 AA batteries, he just about burnt my leg off. He has a blue laser that he said he can start fires with. He aims at paper and starts fire. That you just put in your hand. And I've seen him burn me.
Well, don't forget too, like when we do night watches, we use like high grade lasers that shoot straight.
Yeah, you shoot at one airplane the wrong way, bro.
That's it. That's the thing is we have to like if we're doing a certain night watch, like we have to be very careful when we start seeing aviation coming overhead. We have to turn them off, and we can no longer use the lasers because we can affect people. Like even with the little tiny ones that you buy. So yeah. So imagine having a high powered one through the government that you're using for whatever purpose. I do think that they could, of course they could do it. I don't know if they would do it. And it's the same thing within government.
Not saying that they would or wouldn't. That's not what I meant.
I know what you're saying.
Things are possible.
Of course they're possible. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to Maui, though, Maui is built on not one but 2 volcanoes. That's how the entire island was formed. So there's a constant flow of multiple streams of hot lava and magma and things like that. Seeding clouds, though, is not really controlling the weather, though, Alan. You know, if you think about it.
I know that they are testing with different weather system or different weather technologies for control because of global warming. So I know that they are trying to test new weaponry for that reason. But again, you know, this is the cause and effect. So when you start dabbling in these types of things and you're trying to figure out what you can do and you do start trying to engineer stuff, there's going to be unfortunate disasters that happen that you didn't plan for because you're trying to test something to help a situation.
Brittany works for the government now, I'm just saying.
No, I don't.
Dude, I give the right person here. You're a mask. Okay, maybe Miss Biden.
You know, you're going to tell me the Earth is round. You're crazy.
I'm a reptilian. Okay,
President Brittany Biden. All right,
no, but I'm just saying it is cause and effect, and it happens. I mean, look, you know, when we talk about the HARP weapon, and it's in the sonar weaponry that they were using, and it killed hundreds.
Are you talking about the Cuban?
Our whales. It killed a lot of our whales. It totally threw off their sensors and it made them kill themselves.
But that was with the sound cannon.
Right. It was the sonar. Yeah, they were testing the new sonar.
Those things are insane. Have you seen them shoot them at boats?
But again, they were testing it, and they didn't purposely mean to kill these whales or how the marine life would affect to it.
Oh no, I know. I remember.
It's a cause and effect. They're testing something out, and everybody's like, "Oh, the government wasn't doing it," but they were, and they came out and they're like, "Look, we were testing certain things that we've been working on, but we did not purposely set out to kill marine life. That we need those numbers in our ocean for the for the ecosystem." So it happens, unfortunately, but I don't think if the fire started in Maui on purpose, I don't think it was a level of government that would have anything to do with it. I think it would be, like I always like to say, there are levels of intelligence that work within other areas, and it's a need to know basis. So there could be levels that we're handling certain things that most of the government are unaware of. That's why they have billions of dollars going into projects that they have no idea what these projects are. That's why we're having the heavy debate in Congress right now. So, and they need to know where their money's going, and they can't, there's no receipts. There's no lines of where this money is going for these types of things happening.
Pentagon budget, there's no receipts. There's no accountability.
No, and that's a problem. We're talking billions of dollars with no ends. And they're like, first of all, we do need to know what programs you're doing. That's what I said. Yeah, billions. And it's like, you guys have to understand, like, we are the head guys. You need to report to us what you're doing with our money. And you're basically saying we don't have a right to know. And that's what's happened. Congress has had the door slammed in their face.
Yeah.
Saying, no, you don't need to know. Huh?
I said the government's supposed to serve at the people's pleasure. We're the boss. We pay the taxes. But
we don't. We're not, though.
Of course not. Of course not.
That's why I still laugh when people are like, government. I'm like, yeah, your government. Government is okay. We need a government. But what we don't understand is that all those inner levels of the government, they don't talk to each other. And there's one superior in the government.
We know that on
does their own thing
down here on the ground with animals.
Exactly. So it's like, no. So, again, could it have been started on purpose? There's a lot of flags pointing to, sure looks that way. But I don't even think levels of the government even know.
Well, let me say this. You
know what I mean?
Because, even in our line of work that we do, people who are just like us get up and make some ridiculous decision, and somehow, without most of us knowing, they get it passed. And, now you're this blatant criminal because some other Tom, Dick, and Harry said you can't have a purple tail agama. But you don't know because they didn't communicate it. Somebody liked it, wanted to protect it, a little backhand here, a little stroke there, hand job, and a couple $100. They passed a law. So that's the same shit. And I've watched that over and over again now, especially in the state of Florida. So with that being said, and we always seem to target things that are irrelevant, like, oh, we got to shut down marijuana, but it's okay. Let's keep that liquor coming.
Yeah, there's lettuce, man.
The idiosyncrasies of the world is just unbelievable to me, because nobody ever bases anything off facts. There's no facts anywhere that I know of,
Greg,
that I can find that Burmese pythons are destroying South Florida. I'm sorry, there's nothing to back it up.
South Floridians are destroying South Florida.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So there's really nothing to back that up. There's no data on that, either side of it. Nobody's got the time or the resources, I guess. It's something that they predict may or may not happen. But
it's sexy. That's what it is. It's a sexy news story.
And believe me, and Brittany, once again, too, let us not forget, we have what's called ecotourism, which when I was a kid, when we were hunting, I don't remember people going hunting to a pen and calling it boxed hunting. I'm not going to get on what people feel about it. I'm just using it as a reference. So the FWC is all based on murder anyways, bro. All their money comes in from hunting and fishing licenses and
alligator hunting.
So they've got to keep that protected. And ecotourism is a big thing. And now snake hunts. When I was down there, when we were in the Keys, we were going through these pamphlets and I read where it said, come on a snake hunt. 16-hour extravaganza starts at 3, small class, blah, 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 $600 a person. Up to 15 people. Okay.
I should start doing snake.
Oh my God.
Now you got ecotourism, right? So I'm charging $600 a person. I'm taking 15 people out there at $600 a head. Look, this could have been a one thing that somebody was doing, but I'm just giving you an example. This is just a hypothetical. So I can make all that money. I got to pay taxes on that money. Now I got people coming in from other countries that want to see them, from Europe. We're going to go on this big snake hunt. What you kill out here, you get to keep the skins. We'll pack it for you. And as part of your money, we'll pack the meat and the skin and we'll ship it back. to whatever, So now you have ecotourism. That's what it is.
You just follow the money trail. It happens everywhere. Follow the money.
But Jeff, when I was just coming back up from the Keys, it was the end of the python hunt.
Oh, the bowl.
Yeah, dude. And they're every third car on 41 was a spaceship.
Yeah, dude. They
Big
got their
lights everywhere.
Flowers,
Guys were bungee strapped with those tree hooks off the side of the trucks, hanging in the ditches. I mean, it was a big competition to kill everything on the road. Like, oh my God, all the Burmese python guys, they're always on the road. Always. So you have no idea how many are further out, because apparently Burmese pythons love the road, right, Jeff?
Well, they do. I mean, we catch a lot on the road, especially in lately toward the end of before I quit the contract. 41 was like a super hot spot
because it's low level, it's hot.
Yeah,
but I'm saying what makes it to the road. I mean, we've got pythons now spotted all the way up in Naples, right? So what's near the road? Nobody has any data of what's way out or what's not. So maybe all the pythons we have are on the road, and they wipe them all out every year. So there you go.
Can I just ask something? This is a problem that I have. My biggest beef, and of course it comes with humans. It's just people in general.
Fucking humans.
I know, they suck. My problem with it is that it's like, it's not the animal's fault that we're overpopulating an area. Okay. It's not our fault. It's not the animal's fault.
You're talking about for indigenous animals.
Yes. But even still, it doesn't even matter. It's like all of a sudden it's a problem because you're moving into their territory and you're building up in this area. And now it's a problem. But it's not the animal's problem. We shouldn't be eliminating these animals because you choose to move here because we're running out of room down there to fill up. So we have to move into more of their area and territory. So what pisses me off, it's like, well, now we've got to kill this many animals because we have to make way for such and such amount of homes because we have this amount of people coming in. And personally, I just don't think that's fair. And then all these laws get placed into effect through Fish and Game. And it's like, guys, but you don't understand. We're just doing this to accommodate people, not the animals. The animals, we don't.
Well, see, what also sucks though, like Troy and I can back this up. When we travel, there is so much unlived land all over the place. Even in Florida, there's a ton of land that's not lived in Florida. Everybody wants to move into those areas that are, fully developed. And yeah, exactly. And those are the areas that keep moving more west. And as you move more west, you're going to run into it. And I mean, when we travel, we'll travel almost a full day and not see a fucking house driving on the highways out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
That's how because when you talk about the accommodation of we watch this thing on numbers because people run around, we're overpopulated. There's no more room on the planet, right? And they're like, well, we're going to give you some numbers, and they did that big mathematical thing. Now, this was back before there was 8 billion people. This was at 7 billion, right? So every single person alive that's on record that they know of on the planet, including the Chinese folks, yes, you all, 9 billion, 100 million of you, could stand in the state of Texas with 10-foot diameter space around them. Yeah. So what they were saying was they're overpopulated in areas that were unsustainable anymore, meaning they were building so much on one area. Like, look at South Florida. In the 50s, when my grandparents were there, it did not look like that, man. It looked like Jeff and I went down over here to Plant City and we were walking downtown. That's what Miami used to look like. There's pictures of it. My grandparents have pictures of it. And, you see it in these old, photos where they're like standing, they have like their little pocketbook, and their little brooch on it. And they're standing downtown Miami and there's like 4 buildings and the little white building says Miami Herald. And you're like, holy shit, I can't believe it. When you go there now, it looks like New York City.
Yep.
And so, it's unsustainable now, man. You're having problems with water and there's no basements, right? They can't build up like they do in the cities and build the underground piping systems, etc. It doesn't exist. So you run out of room for that. And so, I can see how these areas are really lit up at night. Look in the United States at night, which is really cool on the map when it's lit, when you can see it's lit, half and half, obviously, as it goes. But when it's fully dark, look at the areas that are highly brightened up. It's like Jimmy said, there's nothing in a lot of the lower, nothing.
No, absolutely not.
It looks like a firefly here and there. And then you get down Fort Lauderdale, Miami. It's like it looks like the main top of a Christmas tree. And then you got LA. Yeah.
Remember being out in the levees and fucking you turn the lights off and it just be pitch black.
Yeah, dude. I love doing that with Jeff.
Your hand.
Out there, man, and hills have eyes out there.
Yep, you can hear the fucking frog, like the frogs. As soon as you turn all your lights off, all the fucking frogs start chiming in.
Yep.
But before that happens, if you turn it off the first like 30, 40 seconds, you hear all the murders and shit that are going on. You hear the gunfire. That's like 50 miles that way, but it's traveling. You know what I mean, Jeff? You heard it. You hear like, bop, 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 bop. And then the frogs start like, oh, what was the finale to that? You know? So, I mean, I remember hunting those. Brittany knows because I'm going to reference back to the 90s when I used to hunt those levees. And we would grab Joe McDaniel, a friend of ours. He had the keys down there. We were doing the caiman removal in the 90s. And,
I remember that.
Bro, we would be out there all hours of the night. And we'd even go with Chris Hunter. If anybody knows he was a great guy too. Anyways, we'd go down there and catch. And one time, Jeff, we came around one levee and we took this corner. Like when you and I found the Jeep, there was a car down in the bottom of the water with the headlights still on. And
brand new Jeep.
A car was shooting down the other levee with no lights on. Like they stole that car, robbed it, dude. And the lights were still on. It looked like a UFO crash coming out of there. And every now and then, an alligator guard would go over.
That somewhere. Of that Jeep in the water.
So like all that was going on out there, dude. It's still that black too. Like it's so dark.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's so many abandoned cars and crap out there, dude. It's great for snake hunting though, to start flipping shit over.
You're gonna run into the wrong person one time out there, steal your shit too. You know. I remember Jeff would call me. He's like, "Yes, I have firearms. I'm carrying a Smith & Wesson 45 ACP or whatever." And they're like, "Okay, any other weapons?" Yes, I have a Taurus 22 caliber snake remover. All right, any more? Yes, one more. We have a grenade launcher. And he had to document all the weapons because, if they would stop you out there, you have to have, you're not allowed to be out there with weapons in a spotlight. That's poaching. So, he was doing what he was supposed to because he was a worker there. But I guess a lot of people poach. That's why you're not allowed to have a firearm and a spotlight in the car at the same time.
Yep.
I found that out.
You remember that night we were down on like, I think it was not Wagon Wheel, Turner River. And we were driving, and we saw those people. We thought they were poaching fucking deer.
Yep.
And we pulled back, and they're like, "No, we're good. Go ahead, we're good."
Yeah, they wanted us out of there. Yep.
They didn't want us anywhere near that truck, man.
So they were either poaching or those were undercover.
Yep.
Guys. And then dispatch like, yeah, the Jeep Cherokee 4x4 Terminator 2 looking vehicle. That's Jeff.
I miss that Jeep, dude.
Remember? But because you give all your models out there, so they know who you are. You're supposed to be there.
License plates, car models, and
yep. Yeah. Do you have big tires or little tires, sir? Yep. And I do not have AC. Shit like that. We're gonna check. The car said doesn't have AC, but yeah, it was wild. But
car.
Back to what I was saying, like they do that. There's so much overreach now with everything. And there's no regulation on some of the stuff. Like there was no regulation on building that submarine that supposedly popped or whatever.
Goodbye, Alan. Thanks for dropping in, bud.
Good to see Alan. Thank you. But you know what I mean, Brittany? There's no regulation on that.
No, there has
a private company taking people down to look at the Titanic.
Yep. No regulation on that. And look what happened.
Yep. Fucking Leonardo DiCaprio, dead as a doornail. Frozen solid.
Yep, at the bottom, hanging out on the bow.
Don't get me started about the finale. That pissed me off.
Yeah,
I'll never let go, Jack.
I watched the CGI. The pressure CGI when those things implode. Did you see that, Jimmy?
Oh,
Which one implodes, what it does to the human body. It completely implodes within itself and it blows out.
Yeah, it's like sucking all the air out of a can.
Like fast, though. Like they didn't even know what happened. Guarantee you 1 minute, like they heard a siren, and then the next was like gone. They were in another dimension. It was like that. Yep. Or they may have heard like a whistle, like a high-pitched whistle, and then that's it.
You know how the pressure is, dude? The pressure down there is unbelievable.
Yeah.
At the level that they would have been, yeah, it would have been.
That's what I think happened. It just was not built right. And
I agree.
Imploded, dude.
They knew that's the one with the crack, and they go, listen, we got to get rid of this guy. Take him, give him a discount. Not $300,000, $250,000. Give him a $50,000 discount.
Dude, you could have had that. You could have had a BOGO on that shit, and you're still dying.
Well, we were talking about that the other day. We have friends that are pilots and stuff, and we were talking about that airline where the lady was sitting on the she was like reading her book or whatever, and then like this pinhole thing happened in the window. Boom! Sucked her head to it. right? And then sucked her head all the way up to about her rib cage, and the passengers were holding her there to keep pressure in the in the airplane. It's all the reasons I will not fly. But
those are so rare. Those things are so rare.
I know, but imagine if it was your head, Brittany. It sucked her head out. The airplane landed, had all that human excrement and blood all down because it just sucked it out like a wet trash bag, dude. Because you know what would have happened if they would have lost the whole body, it would have decompressurized the whole thing. People are like, oh, everybody would have been sucked out. No, your seatbelted in, but it would have sucked all the air out of there, and everybody's mask would have been sucked out. It would have been horrible, dude.
Yeah, I think they pretty much. I think that when that happens, they just drop to a level where there's a better level of oxygen. Like they
have to
dive.
They had to because she was sucked in nothing, bro. Through the something the size of like a marble. What the fuck, bro, is that? And her head was like stuck, like as it's just pulling her out. You know she's dying. It's like pulling everything out of her. You know what that had to be like? Can you imagine being the poor person next to him? She's like,
can you imagine being that person?
It's not funny, but it's funny.
I just hand them a magazine and be like,
no, so I guess they all held on to her. Everybody piled onto her to keep her inside because if she got completely sucked out, I think she might have been a little. I don't remember what she looked like. I think she was like a little bit larger, and she had like a little bit heavier clothes, but she wedged in there. So in essence, she's a hero. She saved the whole plane. I mean, that's
but her freaking balloon knot was probably frozen solid.
I would think so. I think it pulled it all the way up, but so she was a hero though because that plane was going to crack either way. So that's how you look at it. She died or she was a hero, So she did save the plane. Everybody else survived on the plane.
Did she die?
That's the thing is they've got to check all that stuff.
There wasn't much left of her, Jeff. Yeah, she died because it sucked all of her insides out of her body.
That's how they knew the wind speed from the fucking prolapse.
You see Dad's comment, the last one.
Did she survive? She also lost weight.
No.
Dude, you have to excuse Dan. He's really Daniel's a really sick guy.
That's why we like him.
He's really sick. But yeah, so I mean, there was some weird stuff about that. She said it did not suck her insides out. Michelle said.
I don't even know because I haven't even seen the article.
It was her head. It was like her head was stuck against the.
Ooh.
So she was dead when they hit the ground. So it sucked her spirit out of there.
No matter what, well, I'm sure it did probably. I mean, I'm sure it ruptured on the outside. No matter what, stuff came out. I'm sure from the head.
Dude, with that wind and the cold. I mean, it's freaking sub-zero up there on the outside of the plane. That's why you always get frost on the windows and shit. Her upper body was sucked out of the plane.
See, now I just want to know, does anybody know what the airline was? Because I'll tell you, there are some really bad airline companies that they do not do.
It was either United.
Protocol.
It was either United Airlines or American Airlines. Or something.
Dude, American Airlines has gone to complete and total shit. They used to be a big player, and now that it's trash, dude. Their planes are trash.
Because I don't think it was like Frontier or Spirit. You're asking to die. That's roulette right there, dude.
Oh, dude, they make you do shit. Like you gotta pay $5 if you don't want to pedal the plane for 14 miles. Everybody's got to do their part.
I love Delta.
Give you $100 ticket and $10,000 for everything else. Well,
Virgin Airlines and Delta, those guys know what's up. They take such good care of those planes. Somebody posted a picture.
It was Southwest. I'm sorry, it was Southwest Airlines. But usually they're pretty good.
That's Russian roulette. No.
They've come a long way. Southwest used to be straight ghetto. They used to give you those plastic cards.
Southwest can still be scary. Yeah, they did.
Well, you know what? Delta.
First come, first serve.
And it shows. And don't forget Pan Am. Remember that, Jeff? When we were young?
Pan Am, TWA.
Yep. Those were the big.
What's it called? Continental. That was a fucking huge.
Oh, Continental.
Continental. Virgin. I'd like to fly Virgin one day.
I have flown on a Virgin plane. I think Mom was with me. We were flying back from somewhere, and let me tell you something. I thought I walked in. It was, but it also was purple.
They're usually red. That's why I was asking.
I've never flown on a Virgin, but I've ridden on a couple.
You're ridiculous. Anyway, back to not being inappropriate. But it was funny because when you walked inside, it feels so much like a nightclub. Like it was very it was like fluorescent purples and blues. So like when you sat down, everything was like the seats were. I mean, I thought Delta was great, but the Virgin airline that we flew in, I mean, you felt like you were in first class, even as just economy. Like it was incredible. And I was like, I don't think I ever want to fly any other plane. I think I'm always going to fly the Virgin airplanes because they were fantastic.
Fuck around, man. He's I heard the cruises are fucking sick too, dudes. Everything's first class. There's no trash class on those.
What?
On Virgin, anything.
That's what I said. You like in economy, you all are like legit. Like you all have your own earbuds. You all get your own blanket and pillow. It all sits there. They don't just come by and hand it out. It's like folded neatly.
Listen, Brittany, stop. People are getting upset. We know you're an aristocrat. Good for you.
No, this happened years ago because it was a cheap flight. Like they were giving away really good airfares with Delta, and I was like,
must have been a shitty plane.
It wasn't. It was great. I loved it. It was amazing.
Well, we caught up with where we were supposed to be a little bit over. Actually, I started late because we had that stupid storm and it was giving me a hard time. Like, Jimmy, I guess I was having problems with the sound. Yeah. I was trying to find power to everything. It was like knocked everything out and rebooted everything. And we're sorry, you have to relog in your password. I'm like, my password. What's my password? You know, so put me back. So we got in there and I appreciate everybody coming out and spending time with us again this week. It was fun. What's that?
Back.
Yeah, definitely come out and see the reptile show. Aren't you going to be there?
Yeah, dude. I'll be at Daytona this weekend, booth 126, room 1, with my good friend Wayne Hale running that shit.
Nice.
And, yeah, it'll be fun, man. Come on by. It's going to be like vendors from all over the world and country, and it ain't Repticon. Let me tell you. It dwarfs it by like 5 times at least. It's an insane show. Jimmy, you're not too far from Daytona, right? A couple hours?
Yeah, I'm not. Daytona, yeah, it's only about 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. Bring your new lady, man. I want to meet her.
Yep. Yeah, 2 hours I think it is. So.
Are you going to do it?
What's that? I don't know. Who asked that? I don't know. I don't know if I am or not. I've been trying to get this enclosures done out here, and I'm still painting the house. I'm just doing a lot of shit around here. So
I heard that, man. I've been trying to buy a damn house. I had the perfect house, and it fell out of escrow. Did not appraise. Priced $39,000 light.
And, I'm sorry to hear that, dude.
And they
wasn't meant to be, dude.
That's exactly what I said. It wasn't meant to be. It just means the universe has a better place for me. I went out and looked at a place today in good old Shady Hills up in Spring Hill, and it was like in the middle of nowhere, but the house was fucking teeny. And it was like one of those fix and flips. Like you could tell when you walk in, they all have the same floors, the same countertops, whatever. So I'm kind of holding out for something good. And I want a place where I can keep a bunch of animals, keep a little gator pit, and, throw my enemies to. And that's what I need is really a pig farm to fucking get rid of.
I was just going to say that. I was going to be like, well, they eat everything. You need pigs.
That's exactly what you need.
Yep.
Yeah. That's your
yeah, but I'm psyched to get a house, and everything's looking up. I got passed over for a raise this week at work, so I'm fucking furious. I'm actually looking at some new spots, but with a big salary bump and some more bonuses, so that should up my buying power a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard to get a house for $60,000 in Florida now.
Yeah,
but no, it's there's some stuff out there. I'm gonna find something. I'll see you Saturday, Craig. Come by the booth, you and your kid. We'll have a ball. I'll see you there, Dan, man. Come talk to me about cleaning some snake shit.
No, you heard that, Dan?
I'll put you to work, man.
He's gonna call me. He's gonna be like, "Yo, what was he talking about? Does he want me to go over there? Does he want me to go over there and touch his stuff?" Now he's gonna bother me forever. Don't get fixated on it, Dan. I'll call you about it later. Don't get all worked up.
Right, there is a uniform. It's a snakeskin thong.
He'll do it.
Oh Lord,
nice.
He will. Daniel will get a singlet channel. No, he needs a singlet. You know what it goes all the way up over
definitely.
his shoulder.
Like a fucking
cap over his nipples, and
like a Borat, a fucking bright green Borat situation.
Yes, dude. Dan, if Dan wore that, dude, that's a YouTube channel right there.
Your milkshake will bring all the boys to the yard. Well, mostly
dude. Banana Hammock Dan. Banana Hammock Dan.
My God.
But yeah, so everybody, thanks for coming out and hanging out with us and checking us out. We'll have some fun again next week. We'll be here live again Thursday, and it'll be the post reptile show, Jeff. So that'd be cool to know what's going on with that.
Yeah, man. I'll hopefully have some new stuff to show you. Jimmy, I got to send you some pictures.
Please do.
Mine gave me a subadult male black pine snake. Fucking beautiful, dude.
Really? Yeah.
Very cool stuff. Yeah.
Really
Black
nice.
Pine, yeah.
Jimmy's got a bunch of stuff coming up too. I've noticed he was putting in poles again, some more enclosures. And
you do some dancing.
So what? Yeah, I did.
Mankini.
We know that, Jimmy. Jimmy, that's it, right? You're on Fans Only, right? Is that what we're finding out?
Yeah, let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm on there. I got an OnlyFans.
He's actually on Fansly. If you guys want to know, it's Fansly. Jimmy Riffle. Sweet.
Yeah.
Gentle Jimmy.
No, it's those. Listen, I heard a story about a crocodile hunter, and maybe we'll get into that one time.
Hunter.
Jimmy knows what I'm talking about.
That's right.
When I heard that, I was like, "This is gold." So I want to find out the details, and if we can talk about that for sure. And I'd like to talk about that without promoting anybody, but definitely want to talk about the crocodile hunter. So next week, guys, when we sign in, we'll have some fun topics, and hopefully everybody makes it through the weekend and does really well. And we appreciate everybody coming out and hanging with us. We love you all. And, we hope to see y'all again. And,
see you guys.
Yeah, man. Want to see everybody later. Good night, guys. We will see you.